Hey guys, this is Amit and you are watching Tech Dad. In this video, we are going to compare between Poco M3 Pro versus Realme 7i, and we will discuss which one is better in camera, performance, display, body of the devices, features, communication chips, and about the prices. In the end of the video, I will tell you which one is better according to me. So watch this video till the end. So without wasting any time, let's start the video. Let the comparison start with the camera of the devices. Talking about the rear camera of the devices, M3 Pro have triple camera setup, 48 megapixel of wide camera, 2 megapixel of macro camera and 2 megapixel of depth sensor, whereas 7i also have quad camera setup, 64 megapixel of wide camera, 8 megapixel of ultra wide camera, 2 megapixel of macro camera and 2 megapixel of depth sensor. So the winner here is 7i because it have quad camera setup and which have ultra wide camera. And about the front camera of the devices, M3 Pro have 8 megapixel of wide camera, whereas 7i have 16 megapixel of wide camera. So the winner here is 7i because it have 16 megapixel of wide camera. Let's talk about the camera features of the devices. M3 Pro have dual LED flash, HDR and panorama, whereas 7i have LED flash, HDR and panorama. So the winner here is M3 Pro because it have dual LED flash. And about the video recording options in the devices, M3 Pro can shoot Full HD video max at 30 fps, whereas 7i can shoot Full HD video max at 30 fps with gyro electronic image stabilization. So the winner here is 7i because it have gyro electronic image stabilization. Moving to the performance of the devices, let's start with the operating system of the devices. M3 Pro have Android 11 support. On the other side, 7i also have Android 11 support. So it's a tie. And about the user interface of the devices, M3 Pro have MIUI, whereas 7i have Realme UI. So it's a tie here because both of the interface have different UI. So it's up to you which UI you like it or not. It's up to you. Let's talk about the processor of the devices. M3 Pro is powered by Dimensity 700 5G based on 7nm processor, whereas 7i is powered by Snapdragon 662 based on 12nm processor. So the winner here is M3 Pro because it have high processing speed. And about the GPU of the devices, M3 Pro is packed with Mali G57, whereas 7i is packed with Adreno 610. So the winner here is M3 Pro because it can give you more FPS in games. Let's talk about the clock speed of the devices. M3 Pro can clock at 2.2 GHz based on octa-core Cortex chipset, whereas 7i can clock at 2.0 GHz based on octa-core Creo chipset. So the winner here is M3 Pro because it have faster clock speed. And about the RAM variants in the devices, M3 Pro comes with 2 RAM variants, 4 and 6 GB, whereas 7i have 2 RAM variants, 4 and 8 GB. So clearly the winner here is M3 Pro because it have multi-RAM options, because it have high speed of RAM option. Let's talk about the internal storage of the devices. M3 Pro have 2 storage options, 64 and 128, whereas 7i have 2 storage options, 64 and 128. So the winner here is M3 Pro because it have faster read and write speed. And about the external storage of the devices, M3 Pro have dedicated card slot, whereas 7i also have dedicated card slot. So it's a tie. Moving to the display features of the devices, let's start with the display size of the devices. M3 Pro have 6.5 inches of display, whereas 7i have 6.5 inches of display. So it's a tie because both of the devices have same display size. And about the screen to body ratio of the devices, M3 Pro have 83.7%, whereas 7i have 82.3%. So again, it's a tie because both of the devices have same ratio. Let's talk about the screen resolution of the devices. M3 Pro have Full HD Plus display. In the other side, 7i have HD Plus display. So the winner here is M3 Pro because it have Full HD Plus display. And about the display type of the devices, M3 Pro have IPS LCD display having 90 Hz of refresh rate, whereas 7i have IPS LCD display having 90 Hz of refresh rate. So the winner here is M3 Pro because it have Full HD Plus display. Because of that, it can produce sharper images. Moving to the body features of the devices, let's start with the thickness of the devices. M3 Pro have 8.9 mm of thickness, whereas 7i also have 8.9 mm of thickness. So it's a tie because both of the devices have same thickness. Talking about the weight of the devices, M3 Pro comes with 190 grams of weight, whereas 7i have 188 grams of weight. So it's a tie because both of the devices have approximately the same weight. And about the protective glass of the devices, M3 Pro have Gorilla Glass 3, whereas 7i have Gorilla Glass 3. So it's a tie because both of the devices can give you same protection. Let's talk about the build quality of the devices. M3 Pro have plastic back with plastic frame, whereas 7i have plastic back with plastic frame. So it's a tie because both of the devices have same build quality. And about the SIM options in the devices, both of the devices have dual nano SIM support. So it's a tie. Moving to some of the most important features of the devices, let's start with the fingerprint scanner of the devices. M3 Pro have side mounted fingerprint scanner, in the other side 7i have rear mounted fingerprint scanner. So it's a tie because both of the devices have at the different position, so which side you prefer, it's up to you. And about the sensors in the devices, M3 Pro have accelerometer, gyroscope, proximity and compass, whereas 7i have accelerometer, gyroscope, proximity and compass. So again it's a tie. Let's talk about the battery capacity of the devices. M3 Pro have 5000 mAh of battery capacity, whereas 7i have 5000 mAh of battery capacity. So clearly the winner here is M3 Pro because it have bigger battery capacity. Let's talk about the charging speed of the devices. M3 Pro have 18 watts of fast charging, whereas 7i have 18 watts of fast charging. So it's a tie because both of the devices can charge up your device at the same speed. Let's talk about the loudspeaker of the devices. M3 Pro comes with normal speakers, whereas 7i also have normal speakers. So it's a tie. And about the headphone jack of the devices, M3 Pro have 3.5mm of headphone jack, whereas 7i also have. So it's a tie. Moving to the communication chips in the devices, starting with the WLAN of the devices. Both of the devices comes with Wi-Fi AC, dual band Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi direct and hotspot, so it's a tie. And about the Bluetooth version of the devices, M3 Pro have 5.1 generation of Bluetooth, whereas 7i have 5th generation of Bluetooth. So the winner here is M3 Pro because it have newer generation of Bluetooth. Let's talk about the positioning chips in the devices. M3 Pro have AGPS, GLONASS, Galileo and BDS, whereas 7i have AGPS, GLONASS and BDS. So the winner here is 7i because it have Galileo chip. And about the USB connectivity of the devices, M3 Pro have 2nd gen of Type-C connector, whereas 7i have 2nd gen of Type-C connector, but it have OTG support. So the winner here is 7i. Moving to the price of the devices. In the international market, price of M3 is around $180, whereas 7i is available from $130. In the Indian market, M3 have starting range from 16,000 rupees, whereas 7i is available from 13,500 rupees. So the conclusion of the video is, in the camera the winner is 7i, in the performance the winner is M3 Pro, in the display the winner is M3 Pro, in the body segment it's a tie, in the features of the device it's a tie, in the communication chips it's a tie, and about the prices the winner is M3 Pro. So the decision is totally yours, which device you like the most so far, and let me know in the comment below what do you think, which device is better for you. So thank you guys for watching this video. If you like our content, please like our video, share this video and subscribe to our channel. Comment what's your thought in the comment below. If you're watching this video on Facebook, please like our page TechDad, and if you want to follow me on Instagram, here's my Instagram ID on the screen. This is Amit and I will see you guys in the next one. Till then, bye.